This is the new Furitek Terrax with 4-wheel independent steering, and I think it may be one of the coolest mini crawlers that you can buy, although it's not cheap at $300. But I've got 4 main reasons why I think it's going to be one of the best mini crawlers at AMain Hobbies. And then there's one little thing that's not so great about it, but we'll show you that in a minute. Now this is ready to run. It's 1/18 scale, and it requires 4 AA's for the transmitter and a battery for the truck. Now why is this one of the best mini trucks you can buy? It's got 4-wheel steering. And there's not many trucks out there with 4-wheel steering, but it does have a servo on top of each of the portal axles. Front, and then with a little dial switch on the transmitter, we have rear steer also. You have to center the steering on the rear each time, but it does beep at you to let you know where that point is. Now, one thing that might help some people is to visually know where that point's gonna be. You use a silver Sharpie, mark that, and you can see when it lines up, we're at center. Now, having 4-wheel steering can be really beneficial to make tight turns, to just get around rocks and have maneuverability that you wouldn't otherwise have. Number 2, it already comes with some brass parts. And if we look at the hexes behind the wheels, we have brass hexes. So these are going to add some extra weight. These are the extended hexes too, pushing out the width of the vehicle quite a bit, about an extra 10 millimeters. And we've got these hexes on the front and the rear. Another area of brass is inside these plastic wheels. They're beadlocks, and we do have a brass ring. And on the scale, these wheels weigh about 30 grams. So they're already pretty heavy and do help out quite a bit with our lean angle. And we will be testing that along with our climbing angle and our turning radius. Number 3, this truck comes stacked with upgrade parts, which means it comes with the carbon fiber chassis rails, the carbon battery mount, and then the rear mount / support is carbon as well. We also have a 10-degree skid plate on the bottom that's made from aluminum, so that's going to help with the breakover angle with it being angled to help us from getting high-sided, so the truck will want to tip over on one end. Also, our links on the bottom are high clearance. They're aluminum. We've got steel center drive shafts front and rear. We have aluminum steering links attached on the front and on the rear axle. And it comes with this hard plastic body that is pretty naked, so it's ready to be painted or customized however you want. It attaches with magnets, and it is pretty strong. And number 4, this thing comes with a 2-in-1 Komodo Unity brushless system. This is a first of its kind with an ESC and motor system built in to a motor system this small. And it comes mounted on the Micro Stellar aluminum case transmission. This is a really high-end setup that Furitek sells for about $150, and they included it on this truck. Now with this system, it's going to have a pH connector, so it's the same as like an SCX24, and the battery we're going to use is an SCX24 battery from EcoPower. This ESC that's built into here is programmable too if you use the smartphone app, and then it's also 2 and 3S compatible. And we'll test the throttle smoothness here in a minute. So 4-wheel steering, brass, upgrade parts, and the 2-in-1 Komodo ESC brushless system. Pretty decked out truck. Now some of you may have seen the mini crawler comparison video we put out just a few weeks ago, and for performance, the Red Cat Asset 18 brushless came out on top at about $200. And we're gonna perform all the same tests from that video with this to see how it compares. Now before we do that, here they are in their physical differences. The wheelbases are nearly identical. The Red Cat on the right's got taller tires, so it's going to have a little bit taller axle clearance, but the Terrax is quite a bit wider, mainly due to those extended brass hexes. And from the side, the Terrax is quite a bit shorter, but that's just the body. Does look like it's sitting a little lower too. You can see a good look at that angled skid plate where it's flat on the Red Cat. Now, what about that not so great thing about the truck? Well, it's got 2 servos, as you know, and the torque is pretty decent. Speed's not the greatest, but they come with plastic servo horns. Ugh, it's kind of gross. Considering all the nice aluminum parts on this truck, aluminum horns you'd think would be included, but they weren't. And when we unboxed the truck, I dropped it on the concrete floor and one of those horns broke. Gosh dang it. So to fix it, I bought 2 of these clamping aluminum EcoPower horns, And then I needed to pick up also these longer screws to make it all work, and we replaced both horns. There's one other thing about the truck too, and it's when we opened up the portals, there was bushings inside, no bearings. I'm pretty sure the transmission has bearings, but the truck is still using some bushings, which is a little sad to see for a truck of this caliber. Okay, here's our throttle response. It is exceptional. Okay, and here is our weight. Okay, so we have a perfect 50-50 left and right side balance, 53% in the front, 500 grams overall. Front steer only. And it's about 22.5. And to the left, seems a little wider. It's about 20. So we're gonna do 4-wheel steering now to the left. Wow. Holy smokes, and the rear tire is about 7.5. Okay, and to the right, 4-wheel steering, incredibly tight. And we're at about 10 inches there. Here's about 53 degrees. The truck seemed like it climbed no problem, but the tires seem like maybe they are, okay, they're gripping all right. About 55 degrees. Come on, tires. 56 degrees. $58 degrees. I think if the tires were just a little grippier. Okay, we're gonna test the lean angle now. 50. That's about 52. That's about 51 degrees. Oh man. A little tricky getting up here. That's where that 4-wheel steering comes in handy. Wow, look at that. I have never made it fully around this thing. Oh my gosh. Incredible. I'm having a little bit of an issue. It seems like the servo is spinning inside the servo horn. Yeah, it doesn't have enough strength to move on the rocks right now. I'm turning the dial, but it's not doing anything. So let's go do something about that. So I'm gonna pop these servo horns off really quick. So to fill in the gaps and make the horn tighter, we're just gonna do a little trick. So I'm gonna put this little square of the plastic bag on the spline and then smush the horn on there, and that'll help take up any gap, and then we can just trim that plastic bag. It's not a great permanent solution, but it does just help tighten it all up. All right, so we have trimmed up the plastic bag, and then I used the lighter to melt it around the edges, and it looks a lot cleaner than it did. Just right around that rock. It turns so tight, it's just really incredible. I'm gonna try to turn it around and go through the arch. I'm really using those back tires to help stabilize the truck right now. Easy peasy. Never been able to hit that line before. Oh. Incredible. We're gonna flip it around again. See if we can make it through this. That front tire's really hung up on that rock. Oh, there we go. Gonna crab walk it around it. So driving the Terrax is absolutely incredible, and the pros definitely outweigh the cons here of it having some bushings and then those plastic servo horns. The truck is an absolute beast, and when you compare it to the other trucks in our comparison video, it just blows them out of the water. It has superior climbing angle, leaning angle, and turning radius by a long shot. It is equal to the Ascent 18 in terms of its throttle response, but that's the only area they're equal in. The Terrax is in a league of its own, and for the price, it offers a whole lot. Exceptional brushless electronics, 2 servos, and a whole lot of performance on the rocks. So guys, the Terrax is absolutely recommended, and you should go check it out with our links down below. I'm Brett from AMain Hobbies, and thanks for watching.